Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? King Rex here. And today we're gonna be doing yet another competition between me and LightningRuiEn. We're gonna be doing it in the original Kingdom Rush. We're gonna be using Elora because we're allowed to use premium heroes. And we're gonna be doing Rotten Forest on Veteran. And it's gonna be pretty much the same as usual. Now, if you haven't watched my competitions between me and him, then I'll highly recommend you checking it out. It's pretty cool to have someone to compete with. It's kind of nice. And so far I've been winning the first three competitions I've won, but the last one we ended up in a tie, which was pretty interesting. So who knows, maybe he'll be able to beat me this time. If he does, then congratulations, man, you definitely deserved it. And so, what do we have here? This level is kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie. It's not as easy as it may seem. It took me approximately 10 to 12 attempts in order to achieve these results, and even though I'm not like completely satisfied with them, I know I could have went for probably a little bit better time, or maybe I could have went for something that's a little bit more cheap, I don't know, but I was just swinging it at this point. After 12 attempts, it just, your brain kind of turns into mush at one point. And yeah, if you don't know how we determine the winner, well, we have three major factors that are taken into consideration. The first factor is how many lives you have by the end of the game. And the second one is how much gold you have by the end of the game. And of course, the third factor is time. Hence why I'm pretty much insta-calling every wave. Or at least I'll try to insta-call every wave. I'm not quite sure if I'll do it for wave 20 because, you know, that's where the boss comes in. And you want to be sure that everything is going fine. And yeah, let's talk about the strategy now that I'll be using. First of all, we're going to be getting a Tesla right here, that's pretty obvious, it's already there. Then we're going to be getting another Tesla close to it. And after that, we're going to be getting multiple mages, because that's usually a pretty good defense. And here is where the next Tesla is going to be pretty soon. So yeah, for the two mages, we're gonna be getting one arcane at the very exit, and we're gonna be getting a sorcerer right in front of it, or above it, I don't know. But it's for a simple reason, because the sorcerer reduces armor, and we're gonna have a lot of armored enemies coming in pretty soon. The Tainted Treants, which are quite a tough customer to deal with, and we have to be careful about them. Now, we're going to be getting also an additional choke point. We're going to be making the top one, where you have a pretty good amount of towers you can place there. Like, you can place up to 6 towers, maybe 7 if you use a musketeer. But we're going to be using only 4 spaces. And we're going to be getting mostly Big Bertha, because surprisingly Big Bertha is pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if it was the best option, but I feel like it was. I tried it with Teslas and I couldn't achieve quite the same result as Big Bertha, so I guess I'll just have to start paying more respect towards this tower, since it's kind of one of the more underrated towers in the community, if I do say so myself. And yeah, there's nothing all that much. We're gonna be getting also multiple sorcerers, but that's gonna be later on. For now, we just have to go through it, man. And to be honest, the first half of the game is kind of slow. It's pretty easy. You know, we're already like 3 minutes in or so, and we're at wave 6. That's not bad. We have that Noxious Creeper, but that's okay. We're gonna annihilate him pretty soon. We're just waiting for the Rain of Fire to come in and rain death from above. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Now both of them are dead, and now we have the Rain of Fire almost fully recharged. So that way we can use it later on. Because there's gonna be, I believe, 5 Noxious Creepers coming in from the top. And even though that's probably something that I should not be doing, like, I should have put Elora at the top to block the Noxious Creepers. Because even though she's a mage and she doesn't do all that much damage against them, she still has a good durability, so she can act as our blocker. Which would be nice. And yeah, I realized that, but a little bit too late. You know, we had a lot of spiderlings to take care of, and unfortunately Elora got distracted and she was fighting one of those little spiders, and that was kind of annoying, but whatever. We still managed to lock onto the Noxious Creepers. And now we're just waiting for for as many of them to come in range of the Rain of Fire as possible and use it. It would have been awesome if I was able to get all 4 of them, or sorry, all 5 of them, but I wasn't able to pull it off, unfortunately. So we're gonna use it a little bit early, but you know, we have to start on the next wave because, you know, time. And that's my main 2 goals for now. It's gonna be time and lives. I know I can probably pull off the gold, but I'm not quite sure. Like, I've tried in one of my attempts. I was able to get above 10k. Like really, I was able to get above like, I think my exact goal was 10,400 and something, but I ended up getting overwhelmed, and I couldn't replicate it for 4 times in a row. Like I did almost the exact same thing, and I couldn't pull it off. I don't know why. I guess I was just very lucky there, but unfortunately, yeah, this strategy was kind of scratched. I've also tried Tesla spam against the boss, and it wasn't very effective. I tried it with the Musketeers, with the shrapnel shot all the way up, and it works out. But the thing is that you have to block the boss and keep him inside of the radius, which is a little bit problematic. Now you could say, oh, just move Laura, why not? Well, yeah, you can, but the issue is that Laura needs to be at the exit so she can prevent the crap ton of treants from getting through. You know, she has to slow them down with her permafrost and damage them with her icicles, or whatever the second ability was called. And unfortunately I can't do that. You can try to do it with an elemental, but it's a long and tedious process until you get him to lock onto the boss, because there's a lot of treants accompanying him. And yeah, it gets pretty bad. I wasn't able to block him, like the entire radius. It was very bad, let's just say that. It was atrocious. So yeah, I ended up switching to Big Bertha, and I did one testing attempt before this one with the same strategy, and it worked out pretty well, but it had some flaws. Like I survived with I think 6 lives maybe? I don't know, I guess the spam overwhelmed me again. And I don't know why, but this level can get very overwhelming. Especially if you leave the boss alive for too long, but you'll see what's gonna happen later on, since we're already halfway through. And that's not bad, you know. Our time is looking promising. We haven't lost any lives because of... Come on, we're pros up in here. Well, we're not, but, you know, we're at least trying to be. And yeah, can these treants come in a little bit faster? Come on, I'm waiting for you, you're not gonna get anywhere. Otherwise, gonna stop you in your tracks and you're gonna get annihilated by our magic power. Raw magic DPS, that's the name of the game. But not quite, because we have multiple Teslas, but you kinda need them. Because we're gonna have demons coming in, you know, demon spawns, demon hounds, and then of course the spiders, the good old spiders. And who can forget about the necromancer? Yeah, we're gonna be getting necromancers coming in pretty soon. And the thing is that at least I have a good memory of this level, you know. A couple of days ago I did a guide video on it. Well, actually it was last week now that I think about it. But still I have at least a reasonably good amount of, you know, memory. You know, I memorized most of the waves, and I was able to, you know, predict everything a little bit ahead of time. Well, kinda. So sometimes I just completely screwed everything, but, you know, we can all be perfectionists, so yeah, we have to work with what we have. Now, we have to use the Rain of Fire. If I used it a second earlier, the teleport would have teleported a few of the treants backwards, and it wouldn't have been very effective. So that's why you wait. That's the thing with the Arcane Wizard, you have to wait it out. You want to make sure that he uses the teleport so he doesn't screw you over, because believe me, it screwed me over at least 2 times. At least 2 times during my 12 attempts. So yeah, it was very annoying, but you know, it's our best way to stall enemies, or to, you know, quote-unquote block them, even though we're not blocking them, we're teleporting them, but still, it's some sort of stalling power, and you need it in this level. But the thing is that, since the level is very restrictive, you have to think of alternate means. Now, you can also use the Wrath of the Forest, but it's not very good, for the reason being, for one main reason. The treants have high armor, and the ability to deal physical damage, so even though it's gonna stall them for a while, it's not gonna be able to damage them a lot. And the teleport is a little bit more reliable, at least in my opinion. Now here we're gonna get multiple sorcerers with the insta-kill, because we're gonna need it, since there's gonna be a lot of swamp things. And that was a mistake that I did many times, is between wave 19 and 20, I just left the swamp things, like, I just moved the lore straight up to the front, and I forgot about the swamp things, and they ended up getting a little bit too far in, and I had to waste a Rain of Fire on them, unfortunately, because, you know, sometimes the insta-kill just betrays you. That's the way it is. That's why I prefer insta-kills on melee heroes, because at least you can, you know, pick who you want to insta-kill. Well, unless, you know, you cannot prevent the animation, just like Bravebark. Don't worry though, it only works. This is the case only on Steam, so if you're playing on iOS, it should be better. Or technically I suppose it's worse since he cannot insta-kill any enemy, he has a limit I believe. I'm not quite sure what it was, I think it was like 1500 health or so. Which kinda sucks, but you know, that's just the way it is. Sorry for all the iOS players out there, I really feel bad for you, but hopefully the iOS version will become like the Steam version eventually. And yeah, let's get on with the game now. Where are we? Wave 16, looking good. Everything looks pretty good in my opinion. Here we have the Necromancers, but they're getting destroyed by the Big Bertus. They're surprisingly good, you know. I mean, the main reason why I didn't thought about the Big Bertus is because you need stalling power, or at least that's how I work with Big Bertha. If I don't have any stalling power, then I just completely abandon it, because you kinda wanna group up the enemies as much as possible, but surprisingly it has big enough AoE, so you don't really need to rely on barracks all the time. And it works out pretty well. Now we're gonna be getting something about it. We're gonna be getting the Dragon Breath Launcher, because it's a little bit cheaper and it's still kind of effective. It happens pretty often, you know, the cooldown is pretty short. We can also get the cluster bombs, but then again, we're trying to save up at least somewhat of a decent amount of gold. Now LightningRuiEn, he's probably going to get more gold, since while we talked on Discord he said that he was gonna be aiming for the highest gold. And hopefully, and probably he will be able to achieve it. I don't know, I have faith in him, but who knows. Maybe he'll be able to pull up something very bad, like 5k. Imagine if that happens. And yeah, believe it or not, 5k is a pretty small amount for this level. On this level you get a pretty high amount of gold in comparison to the others, which is something that I really enjoy. Now here for the two Demon Lords, unfortunately, the same thing happened. The reinforcements just don't want to block him when he's mixed in with the cluster of demon spawns. They just target the demon spawns and leave the Demon Lord to just walk away. That's very bad. And now this one is still alive, which is gonna cause a little bit of trouble. You know, he's gonna shield everybody up, but that's okay. We have more than enough track to take care of him. The Tesla is gonna be melting through his health like nothing. Elora is gonna stall him, you know, just freeze him with the permafrost. I mean, look at that area, man. That's a huge AoE slowdown, which could make a difference, especially since we're gonna be defending at the very exit on the last wave. Don't believe me? Well, you're gonna see, but before that we have to wait out this enormously long wave of demon spawns. Like, come on, you think that's threatening? Let me tell you, it's not. Can we get to the next wave, please? Alright, I think that's the end. Yep, there it is. Now we're up to wave 18. Wave 18 is not that bad. Wave 19 can be problematic because there's quite a decent amount of Swamp Things. And believe it or not, the Swamp Things were one of the main reasons why I ended up failing for the most part. Like, you really need the insta-kill to just strike him when it's most needed. But, you know, since the towers don't have like targeting options, you know, all the towers target first, it's pretty bad. It would have been nice if they had the different options though, like in Bloons Tower Defense 6, but if you haven't heard of this game, then what were you doing with your life? Just buy this game and play it. It's amazing. I played it a lot myself, like I have at least 1000 hours in it, so I know what I'm talking about. I've been in most expert maps on chimps. I have a black border, I believe, on Bloody Puddles. I don't remember if I achieved one in Bloody Puddles, but I'm pretty sure I had at least a golden border there. So yeah, I will classify myself as a kind of a pro in that game at least. In Kingdom Rush, not quite. There's still some improvements that need to be made in order to become a pro. But whatever, I just don't have a lot of time, you know. Some people can play Kingdom Rush for days upon days on end, but that's not what I do. I usually stay for like between 2 to 3 days just doing nothing but record. And I record usually somewhere around like, well, at least enough videos to have, in order to have some content for the next like 2 weeks. So yeah, you can do the math by yourself. And yeah, here we are, almost at the boss. Now we just have to wait for the last swamp thing to come up, and we should be we should be fine. At least I hope, because you never know. This boss is just a pain in the butt to deal with. Alright, I think that's the last swamp thing. Was I correct? Yes, I was. Oh, there was an additional one. Come on, bruh. Anyway, Here we have the 4 little treants, and after him, there he is. There he is, man. Green muck. Yeah, this boss. You've been a pain in my butt for the last few hours, so I'll be glad if I can finally call it off and just destroy you. This will be awesome. Come on. Allura! Oh, that was a very bad micro mistake on my end. I should have moved her. I should have moved her. Now she's dead. And now we're gonna have some troubles. I mean, yeah, sure, like a fourth of his health is gone, but that doesn't mean anything. And now, look at this atrocity. That's what I was talking about earlier into the video. The elemental needs to lock on to you know, the boss, the green monk. But as you can see, there's so many treants that he just gets confused. He doesn't know where the boss is. Like, come on, be smart a little bit. I know your brain is the size of a peanut, but at least try to stall the boss. Like, look at this. Look at how hard I'm trying to move him to the boss, but he just doesn't. He doesn't want to lock on him, and that's very problematic because now the whole big Virtus are gonna do absolutely nothing. I mean, look at that. They're just gonna stay there. Oh my god, Elemental, you failed me. Well, I'm gonna upgrade him. You're probably thinking that this was a waste of gold, but it wasn't, because if he died, we'll get an additional Swamp Thing, and I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to handle it. So yeah, maybe it was a mistake on my end, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Maybe in an alternate reality it will be actually the better choice, but who knows. Anyway, let's get on to the boss. He's going down pretty steadily. Even though he's getting pretty close to the exit, actually, it's not that bad. I mean, look at these enemies, they're just clustered up with him. And yeah, Laura can just slow them down. Oh, the elemental died somehow. I guess he was stalling a treant or something. Well, that was awkward, but whatever. We have one Swamp Thing that we have to take care of. Which, actually, believe it or not, it's gonna screw up my time a little bit. Yeah, I definitely should have been careful about the elemental. I should have at least look at him for like 5 seconds at least, so he doesn't turn into Swamp Thing, because now you're gonna see what happens. As you can see, the boss is making progress. He's definitely getting far, but due to Alora's enormous slowdown, we're gonna have enough time to recharge the Rain of Fire, and we're gonna destroy him. Look at that, just destroy. Easy, 20 lives and all. But as you can see, the Swamp Thing is just staying there, shooting at Alora, hacking away from, well, it's not actually the outskirts, but he's shooting at her from afar. And that's kind of problematic, so yeah, we have to block him, unfortunately. We're blocking him and waiting for the teleport. Come on, teleport him. Teleport, there we go. Please insta-kill. You did. Oh, come on. Well, he's gonna die anyway, but still, those were a couple of seconds that I definitely could have preserved. Anyway, that's my attempt, man. LightningRuiEn, I would love to see how you perform. And maybe this time you will be the winner. I would love to see you win. That would be wonderful. And yeah, guys, well, with that out of the way, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future. And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out.